Hi, I'm Andre and I'm a black nerd with a review for you better reviews. Thor Ragnarok. I'm gonna give you the good, I'm gonna give you the bad, I'm gonna give you the nerdy. So I'm not gonna spoil everything about the movie, but I will talk into detail about some of the plots in the movie, so that could be seen as spoilers. I did a video earlier this week where I actually went to the Thor Ragnarok premiere, and I gave a little mini review at the end of that video about how I felt about the movie in general. So if you want no spoilers, I would recommend checking out that. I would actually just recommend checking out the video in general because Tessa Thompson may or may not be in it. Just saying. And someone may or may not have met her. Just saying. I also love the fact that I saw this movie incredibly early, and yet I'm still one of the last people to actually review it on YouTube. It seems like the earlier that I see a movie, the later I review it. I'm terrible at this. I should just quit. I'm not gonna quit. I can never quit you, no matter what your comments say. What can I say about Thor Ragnarok? Let me point this out to you, and I mean this as a positive compliment. Let's say you took your favorite Saturday morning cartoon from the 80s and 90s, and you said, okay, Saturday morning cartoon, I know you're cheap and just made to sell toys, but what if I gave you a good director, a good script, and a good budget to do whatever you want and make an awesome movie, but still like a Saturday morning cartoon? That's Thor Ragnarok. This movie is so freaking fun. I feel like Thor Ragnarok finally embraces and accepts the world that it's in. I feel like now that we've gotten past the Dark World and Guardians of the Galaxy and Doctor Strange, that now Marvel is like, let's go all out with magic and creatures and powers and all this stuff. And Thor Ragnarok just fully embraces that, and it's fun. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that I would have loved to see more of in the other two movies, because I feel like it was kind of holding back a little bit, whereas now it's like, bam, let's put it all out there. You can definitely get a Guardians of the Galaxy vibe from this movie. Like, it clearly watched that movie and went, that's what Thor needs to do, guys. That's what Thor needs to do. And a lot of it has to do with the direction. Taika Waititi is an amazing director. This movie handles a lot of different plots and subject matters, some more on the lighthearted comedic side and some on the darker dramatic side. And he found a way to take something like this with these different elements and still always make it feel like one movie. But when it is funny, oh my gosh, this movie is hilarious. And again, I want to point out the reason why I think it's funny good is because it's funny in the natural element of the story. And the comedy came more from the characteristics of the characters in the movie and what they were saying as their characters, as opposed to like Marvel stand-up. And we've seen Marvel stand-up. You know what I'm saying. This one, I think they really fleshed out Thor better. They put a little bit more humor into him, and they had him really be showcased a little bit more than just being, I'm a god and I can fight things. Loki, of course, is up in this. Everyone loves Loki. He's in top form as always. But the whole Thor-Hulk dynamic, of course, Thor ends up in this tournament and he has to fight the Hulk. Meanwhile, Hulk is in this weird state where he can't change back to Bruce Banner, and Thor has to kind of help him out with that. The dynamic of those two almost starts to feel like a buddy cop film. We got to see a little bit more of Hulk in this movie. I still kind of wish that some of these elements could have led itself into a solo Hulk film, but if this is what we got to do to get the Incredible Hulk more on screen and to see more of him and establish that character a little bit more, I thought they did it in a really good way. And we got ourselves a good Marvel villain. I really, really liked Cate Blanchett as Hela in this. Now warning, here's where some spoilers come in. So Hela is this evil goddess, and we find out that not only is she evil, but she also happens to be related to Thor. She's actually Thor's sister, Odin's daughter. Her and Odin used to be, back in the day, just crazy warriors, taking over other worlds, just causing all kinds of damage and destruction as warriors. And then, of course, Odin was like, well, I got kids now, so I can't do that no more. We're done. And Hela still wants to do it. And Odin's all like, nah, not only are we done, but since you still want to do it, I'm gonna have to banish you. You gotta go. And I gotta say, man, I don't really like Odin. It took this movie for me to really go, you know what? Odin is kind of a dick. You know, like he said some nice things. Thor and Loki, they have a love for him because he's the father. I get it. But he banished Thor the moment Thor got cocky about being a warrior, which is the past of Asgard in itself. He adopted Loki, but never told Loki the full story, to where he always felt resentful of Thor because he was the true son and Loki was adopted son. And now we got Hela, this daughter that was side by side in battle with him, and then one day he just changed his mind and then gonna try to tell her that she's wrong for doing what they were already doing before. It's like when you were a smoker and then you or a drinker and you stop and then you start pointing at other people like, stop smoking and stop drinking. Like, hey fool, you were there with me. Odin, you got some issues, man. It's another one of these complicated father relationships in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. If you're looking for the dramatic, dark stuff in Thor Ragnarok, it all comes from Hela. She is not a jokester. She is not doing any one-liners. Her one mission is, I am pissed off at Asgard, I am pissed off at Odin, I am pissed off at Thor, and everybody in my path gotta die. And I mean that literally. Like, for a movie that's got some wacky, funny jokes in it, there's some straight up, like, just mean death. And like, even with characters that you know, like people that have been in the Thor storyline for a couple of movies, literally just walk on screen and go, hey, what's up? Remember me? Ooh. Sif don't even show up. She just disappeared. She wasn't even in the movie, but everybody else in that crew, you know that crew that Thor used to hang out with? They are in this movie for like 5 seconds. And Hela's like, yeah, you're written out. Pip, 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 pip. Hela just was a straight up clean house of characters for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And then Karl Urban's there and he's all like, don't kill me. She's like, great, well, you're the executioner. Now I'm gonna command you to kill other people. He's like, really? Seriously? I just got here. Idris Elba's got to go into hiding. Heimdall's got to like take off his big old crown and get away from the open gate there, the Mario Kart road, and just be like in the forest somewhere. Like, let me go get away. I'm just got to stay alive because Black Panther's coming up in February. I need to kind of make myself get a cameo. Don't kill me, Hela. That's the worst Idris Elba impression, by the way. Thank you very much. But enough about Hela. Oh my gosh. Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie. Good Lord. What can I say? I love her. I love everything about her. The moment she walks on screen, she is great. She is strong. She is powerful. She is awesome. But she is also flawed because she is an alcoholic. Very first scene that you see her in, she's like, what's up? I'm here to fight. I was like, wow. Okay, that's an entrance. Her character is just so amazing and so cool, and there's all these cool shots of her when she's walking and like explosions are happening behind her like she's a freaking Power Ranger. She's just amazing, man. I just really liked her. And then she has this incredible backstory about her and this army of women warriors. You get this backstory or this flashback where her and a bunch of warriors are fighting Hela, and they're on freaking flying unicorns and horses and whatever, and Hela's throwing stuff in the air and it's all in slow motion and it's got these different effects. I'm telling you, it feels like a Saturday morning cartoon with a budget. And there's a whole point of the movie where I'm like, I need that movie, like entirety. Like, I need more of that. Like, can we just strip that out, make a prequel film or a sideways movie and give me that? I'm telling you, that shot. Oh, man. That was so cool. You know, a lot of people always try to rag on DC and stuff, but I'm gonna say, man, I feel like Marvel might have saw Wonder Woman and was like, yeah, we were gonna cut that scene, but I think now we're gonna leave it in. You're right, Taika. Let's hold on to that. She's just awesome. She's just really, I can't say enough about her. She just is a really cool character. One of the strongest female Marvel heroes that we've seen in some time. And again, hopefully when she gets back on that ship again, she can take a trip to Wakanda and just be like, hey, what's up? I brought Heimdall with me too. Falcon is riding shotgun. War Machine flew behind us. We even picked up Zendaya from Spider-Man Homecoming. We all here. Goldblum. That's all I gotta say. If you like Goldblum, you're gonna get some Goldblum in this. Goldblum is at full Goldblum in this movie. It's Grandmaster, right? Because I keep wanting to call him Taskmaster for some reason, but it's Grandmaster. I also love that kind of turn a little bit in Jeff Goldblum when I try to explain that. You hear me go, Grandmaster. If you know Jeff Goldblum and you know how Jeff Goldblum is, and that's the Jeff Goldblum you want to see, Thor Ragnarok delivers. But there's this new character, Korg. I really liked him, and I found out later that the director, Taika Waititi, was the voice of him. He was really funny too. I really like that character a lot. He's trying to start this whole resistance, and that leads into Thor wanting to start his own group of superheroes called the Revengers, which I thought was really cute. And then even the ending of this movie, man, it was not what I was expecting. You know, I had a whole idea of what was gonna go down, and then I was like, oh, okay. I mean, you won, but that was a surprise. This movie is just full escapism at its finest. It's not trying to connect what it's saying in a movie to things that are happening in the real world, except for maybe a little subtle metaphor about immigration all the way down to a song called Immigration Song. This movie is just all about going in, shutting off the rest of the world, being in this fantasy world, seeing all the action, seeing Thor fight, seeing Valkyrie fight, seeing Hulk go crazy, seeing all these action and colors and powers and all that kind of stuff. This is a pure escape film, and you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. This feels like the types of movies that they were trying to make as action films back in the day, but they just didn't have the budget or the story, or no one cared enough to try to make it good. Like, seriously, I want everybody that worked on Thor Ragnarok to now make a Masters of the Universe movie. Like, if y'all could do He-Man like you do Thor, I would be a happy, happy person. and then get on Thundercats while you're at it, and Silverhawks to finish up the trilogy. Now for the bad. Like I said, this movie is super, super funny. So funny though that sometimes the more dramatic stuff kind of doesn't have as much strength as it should. It's really good stuff and it is dramatic stuff, and what I do like about the movie is that when it does get into some of the more heavier stuff, usually with Hela, it does kind of stop the jokey jokes. It really makes it clear this is bad and this needs to be stopped. But I think that in a movie that maybe wasn't as humorous, that might have had a little bit more weight to it than it does in this movie. The tournament stuff, it makes sense why that's super humorous and fun and action-packed, because it's a tournament of fighters and it's the crazy world that it's in, and you got Jeff Goldblum. What do you expect? But the Hela stuff, I think, is something that's also very good too, in a different way. As much as I like it and as good as it is in this movie, in a weird way, I kind of do wish it was a movie or a character that got established in earlier Thor movies. And luckily, like I said, with the direction, they were able to make it all seamlessly feel like the same movie. But I feel like there's something they could have done more with Hela if they really kind of introduced this whole storyline, because her story is interesting. And her reason for doing what she's doing is another one of these cases where the villain kind of has a point. I was doing something that I was told was okay and right for so long, then all of a sudden I'm wrong and I'm banished. So therefore, I got some vengeance to take out. And I can respect that. I mean, I'm not saying I side with the villain. I'm just saying that I kind of get where she's coming from a little bit. So to see her story kind of go from start to finish in this movie, you know, I wish that she was like Loki, where we would have met her early and we could have seen the progression of her and her vengeance or anger towards Thor, towards Odin along the way. Maybe there would have been a moment where Loki and Hela kind of teamed up and worked together, and then Hela getting to a point where even Loki was like, I can't roll with that. And that could have been interesting. You know, for all that time we spent with them elves that we're never going to see again in Thor the Dark World, that could have been a moment to be like, Hela could have been a part of that. You know, that's what I'm saying. I think maybe the second movie could have introduced or had something to do with Hela that could have culminated to this movie dealing with that as well as a tournament, because I feel like that she was a great villain that we're now kind of done with. Maybe, who knows? You know, Marvel will always find a way if they need to bring her back, but looked like she was pretty done. Like I said, Sif was nowhere to be found. They don't even explain why she's gone. And Jane Foster, Natalie Portman, dang, talk about just giving up on something. You've had two movies where you made pretty much a large part of the movie about Thor pretty much leaving his life to be with this one woman that he loved so much. And the third movie, they're just like, yeah, they broke up, and that's it. And it's not even from like Thor or Loki, it's from like some fan, some random person comes up to Thor, is like, oh, you're Thor, can I take a picture? By the way, sorry that your girlfriend broke up with you, bye. I'm like, that's it? That's how you handle something that you forced me to watch? You made me sit through that for two movies, for the third movie to just go, yeah, that's over. Why couldn't Hela meet her? Be like, hey, what's up, Natalie Portman? Yeah. No, I'm not. That's wrong. That's wrong. I shouldn't want Jane Foster dead. That's a really terrible thing to say. But it'd be pretty cool, though, if you wanted Hela to get Thor upset. That would be a way to do it. I'm just trying to add a little bit more drama to your comedy. Where's Kat Dennings? Enough of the nerdy. Gotta have that Stan Lee cameo. It's a good one. But we also get another cameo from another Marvel hero that you might remember. I don't know if that's a Doctor Strange song or the Guild theme song. It was fun to see Doctor Strange and Loki kind of go head to head. While in the battle, Loki had to go grab something for Thor, and he notices that Tesseract is still under there, and they don't ever show him taking the Tesseract, but I think it's pretty safe to assume he took it. You can't trust Loki. How in 3 movies and the Avengers does Thor not realize, stop trusting Loki? I know he's your brother, but I got some family members that I love too, but I don't keep my wallet in plain sight around them. Because I know. You get a funny after credit scene with Jeff Goldblum at the very, very end, and you get a very interesting scene in the mid-credits where Thor and Loki, they got a bunch of people in the ship, everything is cool, and then this much, much bigger ship just shows up. And they don't show who's in that ship, but I'm gonna have a good guess that it probably involves a big purple being with a really cool blinged out gauntlet. I think the Infinity War is about to begin. I do like the movie. I really think it's fun. Is this movie being a little overhyped right now? Maybe. If you want to say it's the best Thor yet, I'm all about that. I can believe that. But best Marvel film? I can't go that far. But overall, this is just a fun freaking film. So those are my thoughts on Thor Ragnarok. What did you think if you saw the movie, or do you plan on seeing the movie? Let me know in the comments. If you like my reviews and talking about movies, please subscribe to my channel. It's absolutely free, and you can also ring that bell to be notified of future videos that I make. I love you like a play cousin. I'm Audi 5000. Chain chomp yomp.